Ratchet and Clank, a series that is both near and dear to my heart, has finally come back after 8 long years and being absent from the last generation of consoles. No, I don't count the 2016 movie tie-in remake. Now with that being said, the last game I played in the series was Size Matters, so I haven't played any of the future series games, but I've watched plenty of videos on them, so I know the story up to this point. Honestly though, this game doesn't really reference a lot of past games, except for, Tools of Destruction, Crack in Time, Into the Nexus, oh, and Quest for Booty too, I guess. Ratchet & Clank has been a beloved IP for Sony for many years, so it makes sense that it would have the first big exclusive spot on the PS5. I got this game day 1 and platinumed it in about 3, so yeah, I'm a bit of a fanboy. This video will be split into 5 categories, so where I talk about the story, the gameplay, the characters / writing, and then there's a section at the end where I just gush about how much I love the game and how amazing it looks, and then I'll wrap it up with a conclusion where I give my honest opinion of the game and give it a rating out of 10. Now with that out of the way, let's jump into this interdimensional adventure. At this point, I'm going to give a spoiler warning for those who haven't seen or played the game yet. I know PS5s are really hard to get a hold of, so, you've been warned. I will be going into spoilers here and later on in the video, so, keep that in mind. So Dr. Nefarious has stolen a device called the Dimensionator that was previously destroyed, but rebuilt by Clank as a gift to Ratchet, so he can search the dimensions for the other Lombaxes. Ratchet shoots the Dimensionator, which causes it to malfunction and destabilize the dimensions and cause rifts to open everywhere. After a fight with Nefarious, the Doctor opens a rift to a dimension where he has conquered the galaxy, and shortly thereafter the damaged Dimensionator explodes, separating Ratchet and Clank. Clank wakes up and is found by a Lombax named Rivet, who is this dimension's version of Ratchet. Long story short, Ratchet, Rivet, Clank, and Clank's counterpart Kit set out to build another Dimensionator and stop Dr. Nefarious to save the dimensions from destruction. A pretty extravagant story that was tons of fun to play through, and the writing. Man, the writing was on point. The writing for this game is solid. Dare I say, the best writing the series has had yet. The dialogue feels pretty natural, and the voice actors put in some serious work. James Arnold Taylor and David Kaye both reprised their roles as both Ratchet and Clank respectively, and their deliveries of their lines are on point, especially during the more emotional scenes of the game. And Armin Shimmerman is hilarious as always in his portrayal of Dr. Nefarious, and has some of the funniest lines in the entire game in my opinion. Meanwhile, Jennifer Hale brings Rivet to life with her amazing delivery of her lines and really makes Rivet feel like an impulsive rebel with a secret soft side. The animation really is the icing on the cake too. Paired with the voice acting, it brings the characters to life, from the subtle eye movements to the idle animations. Deborah Wilson does an amazing job as Kit, a remorseful warbot turned dimensional researcher. And of course I couldn't pass up the chance to talk about Robert Atkin Downes, who we all recognize as the iconic voice of Travis Touchdown from the No More Heroes series. He plays my favorite character in the game, Emperor Nefarious, who shows up in the second half of the game and replaces Dr. Nefarious as the primary antagonist. And he chews the fucking scenery in every scene he's in, and I fucking love him.
Wow! What a battle! Are we done having fun? Come on! Give it up for Rivet and her first victory! I wish I could have been here sooner. However, I am thrilled to announce that I finished neutralizing my enemies. With the exception of Captain Quantum and... Anyway, when I heard that the Rebel Lombax was battling me, I had to...
Come hear the universe celebrate your defeat?
Who was celebrating? You mean them?
No!
Wait!
I've been fighting rebels for years. Let me help you wipe them out.
Ah, my, strange fan wants to assist. Tantalizing. Why don't we make this interesting? A home game, perhaps?
But I'll speak more on him later on. Now we get to the most important part of any Ratchet & Clank game, the gameplay. The series is known for having wacky and fun weapons, and this game is no different, from the Ricochet gun that fires a pinball that you can bounce off enemies by timing presses of the right trigger, to the chaos of the Rhino 8, the most powerful weapon in the game that drops objects on enemies through dimensional rifts and also has some Easter eggs in it like the Sly Gang's van and Sly Cooper himself. Anyway, the gunplay feels great and responsive with the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers of the DualSense controller. And the new gameplay elements are great additions as well, like the new rift tether, which allows you to move between rifts to traverse areas to reposition in combat or extend your jumps while platforming. Another dimension, pun unintended, is added to the combat with the addition of the Phantom Dash, which allows you to dodge enemy attacks and aids in platforming. Speaking of platforming, this game also introduces wall running, which, combined with returning aspects from past games like grinding and swinging, makes for an intense and fun platforming experience. This game also adds glitch challenges, which consist of taking control of an AI named, well, Glitch, to fight computer viruses to bring computers and terminals back online. Now, collectibles aren't really a big part of this game, aside from the bolts you get from crates and enemies, which are used as currency to buy weapons and ammo. Aside from that, each level has 3 types of collectibles: gold bolts, which unlock cosmetics for your ships and weapons, as well as cheats like infinite health and ammo; spy bots, which, when all 10 are collected, unlock the Rhino 8 for purchase; and finally, pieces of armor for both Ratchet and Rivet, which can give set bonuses, like extra bolts earned or reduced damage from enemies, and many other bonuses. Each weapon can also level up the more you use them, which unlocks upgrades, which can be purchased using Raritanium. Okay, now comes the part where I gush about the game. The stars of the show are Rivet and Kit and their story. Unlike Ratchet and Clank, Rivet and Kit had never met before the events of this game, and it turns out that Kit was the warbot that took Rivet's arm, and when Rivet finds out, it causes tension, of course. By the end, Kit comes through to save Rivet during the final battle with the Emperor, and the two make up and become the heroes of their dimension. It's a great arc, and the characters develop nicely over the course of the game. And the graphics, oh my god, the graphics look absolutely amazing. It is so nice to see Ratchet & Clank running at 60 FPS with ray tracing. Every character has so much detail put into them, like you can see the individual strands of fur on both Ratchet and Rivet. Like, this game looks like a big budget animated movie and I'm all about it. Every planet and location you visit just has so much detail, whether it's hustle and bustle of Nefarious City, or the wild plains of Sargasso, or the stormy oceans of Ardolis. It all looks amazing and feels like a real place where people and creatures live. Plus, the transitions between cutscenes and gameplay are seamless, to the point where I stopped putting my controller down because I never knew for sure how or when a cutscene would transition back into gameplay. The alternate versions of some of the other characters are amazing too. Like Captain Quantum, who's the alternate version of Captain Quark, and he's hilarious, just not as funny as Captain Quark, who is sadly absent for most of this game, which I found to be a bit disappointing. Pierre, who is the alternate version of Rusty Pete, is also entertaining and a bit annoying at times, but it wasn't enough to make me hate him or anything. And of course, like I said before, Emperor Nefarious is fucking gold, and I want him to come back in the next game. Hell, I want Rivet and Kit to get their own spin-off game at some point, because, I mean, this game was essentially made to introduce them in their dimension. Like, it would be so cool to see alternate versions of other characters and villains from past games. Okay, I'm gonna stop myself before I end up ranting for an hour, because I could, but that's not what this video is for, so let's just move on to the conclusion, shall we? Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is the perfect game to showcase exactly what the PlayStation 5 is capable of in all its glory, from the beautifully rendered environments to the well-written and detailed characters and creative weapons. I can say without a doubt that this is my absolute favorite game to come out this year so far, and I look forward to where the series goes from here. The only problem I personally had though was that some weapons were just obviously better than others, like too good. Like, I only found myself using about maybe 5 or 6 out of the 20 weapons that are available in the game, but it's really a small gripe in the grand scheme of things. So I give Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart a 9 out of 10.
Alone at last, stuck at the top. If I ever lost, I think I'd just drop. My never-ending story of success is a lonely refrain. So I've one request. Join me at the top. Why don't you join me where the stars all shine? And join me at the top. Why won't you join me? Let our powers combine. You know I can't resist a ditty. So join me. Oh, wait, well, what a pity. Looks like I forgot.
They can't come out.
'Cause I'm everything you're not.
No. Ha! Ha!
Ah, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I said that's pretty good.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Look at me and my flawless schemes. The kind you could never dream up in your dreamiest of dreams. Aren't you so lucky to have me to revere? Your flawless yet lawless emperor right here. Join me at the top. Why don't you join me where the stars all shine? And I will never flop. No, I won't. Just join me. Go on, fall in line. And no one's given me good reason to stop my usual power season. Join me at this spot. I forgot. I'm everything you're not. Who am I?
Our greatness?
And who are you?
Wait, I'm not gonna sing this.
You're no good without me.
What?
How dare you ever doubt me? Now listen as the doctor sings the case.
They join you at the top.
Yes, they would.
Join you where the stars all shine.
And boy, I'm so freaking hot.
You're scalding.
I should have them up.
But you will not.
It's all kinds of rad.
And hilarious.
To be all big and bad.
And nefarious.
To join me on my plot.
Never mind. Forgot.
I'm everything you're not.
Nefarious on top.
And look, I'm not a furry, but Rivet's pretty cute. I'm not even gonna lie. She's cute, she's fluffy, and she's just funny.